Sarasota is consistently ranked as a top place to relocate in the US, and I mean, just look at some of the awards from last year alone. And with that, we are seeing some amazing growth and expansion to a lot of the areas here in Sarasota, which leaves us with growing pains? Let's talk about it. Listen, coming from a born and raised Sarasota native and local realtor, it really is all sunshine and rainbows here. But it's also hurricanes and traffic sometimes too. Now, of course, every town has their pros and cons, and today I want to talk about Sarasota's. And yes, we'll talk about the hurricanes and the weather, but I want to get a little bit deeper than that. I've really thought about things that us locals usually kind of just overlook, but would really catch an outsider's eye. So after watching this video, you'll know why some are saying moving to Sarasota was the best decision of their lives, while others were saying it was a huge mistake. Now, before I get into my first pro, if you're considering making the move down here to Sarasota, I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. So make sure to save my contact info. I'll also make sure to link it in the description down below. Now, I want to kick off this video with the best pro of them all, and that is our lifestyle. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I am a Sarasota lifestyle advocate. I mean, heck, I was born and raised on it, and it's actually a brand that my dad created back in 2011. So it's safe to say that it's kind of in my blood. But what does the Sarasota lifestyle really mean? Well, it can really mean anything that you want. That's the beauty of Sarasota. You hear so many people talk about diverse towns and cities all the time, but I don't really think any of them could beat out Sarasota. Where else can you find a tropical beach lifestyle where a 10 to 20 minute drive to the best beach in the country is just a normal Tuesday? Or how about the true southern farming lifestyle where you can raise horses, pigs, and cattle? What about an upscale luxury lifestyle or a wholesome family lifestyle all intertwined with each other? And the best part is you don't have to identify with just one of those things either. Me personally, I think that I'm all of them. You see, I love to fish both freshwater lakes around here for bass, but also out in the Gulf for snapper and grouper. Hearing that, you'd probably call me a true Florida redneck. But I also love to spend time out on the beach for sunset, walking or skimboarding. Would you call me a beach bum then? Well, I also love to dress up for a fancy night out with my girlfriend and go to an upscale dinner downtown every once in a while. You can probably catch me at one of the farmers markets downtown in Sarasota also. My point is that everyone can enjoy their own lifestyle in Sarasota, which you can't really say for a lot of other areas in Florida. Like take Orlando, for instance. Your options are Disney and huge crowds of people, or one of the smaller suburbs where you have to commute through heavy traffic to enjoy any of the amenities. That's really not the case here in Sarasota. Now, I won't give all the hate to Orlando. I do have to admit, in the past few years, Sarasota has been dealing with its own fair share of traffic, which leads me into my first con. The traffic in Sarasota seems to be ever evolving with a mind of its own. I wish that I could sit here and tell you all of the areas where traffic is bad and then tell you what times when it's the worst, but it seems it's never the same. What I can say is that I've been seeing more and more accidents, more congestion, more construction zone pattern changes this past year alone than I've seen in the previous 20. Of course, I won't even think about taking the interstate north or south between the hours of 3 and 7 p.m. And usually US 41, also known as Tamiami Trail, is the exact same way. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever seen that road clear unless it was like 2 a.m. Yes, traffic is one of those growing pains here in Sarasota, but I feel like it's more older people who have lived here forever who complain about it the most. You know, everyone has those kinds of people in town. The people who go,
I remember when the road was just a dirt trail and there wasn't a single building on either side.
Or they'll say something like,
it took me 3 minutes to get across town back in 1950, and now it takes me an hour and a half.
It really is all about perspective. You know, I say this in a lot of my videos, but it's true. Now, I've had a few past clients, specifically from like the New Jersey, Jersey City, New York area, and they would all tell me that they expected traffic to be way worse just from the research that they did online, hearing people constantly complaining about what it was like, and it just wasn't nearly as bad as they thought it would be once they finally came down here. Now, the only time I'm really stopped sitting in traffic for an extended period of time is when the Siesta Key Bridge is up and letting sailboats through, and let's be honest, there are worse places to be stuck in traffic. I know, some of you are probably wondering how the heck can growth and development be a good thing? But I'm here to bring a positive perspective, so just try and hear me out. Over the past 10 years, Sarasota has seen some major changes basically at all 4 corners of the county. From Venice and Welland Park to Bradenton and Lakewood Ranch, downtown Sarasota, and even east of I-75. With all of this growth comes so much opportunity not only for residents living here, but also for people like you guys looking to move here. Let's start there. If you're looking to move to Sarasota, the increase in growth and development means that there's way more housing communities for you to choose from. Having that benefit of options means that you can pit builders against each other or even pit builders against resale market and get the best price home in the best location for you and your family. But for somebody like me who was born and raised here, Sarasota has become such a happening place. I mean, each week there's a new event or little activity to do, whether it's a live band performing out in the green space by UTC, or like last weekend down by the new Quay District, they set up a large screen to watch March Madness down by the water under the night sky, which is such a cool little thing that like never used to happen here in Sarasota. And when something like that did happen, it was kind of like a big deal, a talk of the town really. Now it just feels like all of these cool little events are constantly happening every weekend or so. Now while we're talking about downtown, let's talk about the next con. While Sarasota has a beautiful and walkable downtown, it doesn't quite fulfill that big city energy that many are searching for. If you're somebody who thrives on an energetic nightlife scene or a bustling business downtown full of entertainment options at all hours, you might find that Sarasota is a little too small and maybe a little too slow for you. Many bars and restaurants close earlier than you might expect, and while there are a handful of late night spots, the options are kind of somewhat limited compared to places like Miami or Tampa. On that same note, Sarasota's downtown doesn't really have a massive selection of shopping or big brand selections either, so residents often have to drive to nearby cities like Tampa again for that retail experience. But I mean, everybody's shopping online anyways nowadays, so it really isn't as big of a deal as it used to be. However, if you're someone who's looking for more of a laid-back, relaxed, urban experience with local boutique shops and restaurants, then that might not be a bad thing at all, and Sarasota would be perfect for you. One of Sarasota's standout features is the stunning home architecture. The city is known for a unique blend of architectural styles. Areas with charming mid-century homes built in the early 60s and 70s, and neighborhoods like Gulfgate or on Lido Key. But our most notable architecture is going to be our luxurious waterfront estate. The Sarasota School of Architecture, which is a modernist movement that emerged in the mid-20th century, actually left a lasting impact on the city's design aesthetics. A lot of the homes in Sarasota often feature open layouts, large windows, and seamless indoor-outdoor integrations with nature, which is perfect for that Florida tropical climate. Beyond mid-century modern, Sarasota also boasts kind of Mediterranean-style homes, which you can find in an area like Burns Court in downtown. You can also find contemporary builds in areas like Arlington Park and even really grand, majestic, historic estates like the ones you can see in west of the trail. To this day, one of my favorite go-to dates with my girlfriend is still just driving around the neighborhoods west of the trail, like Cherokee Park and Harbor Acres, and imagining what life would be like in those big, beautiful, old Florida-style mansions. If you appreciate thoughtful design and aesthetic variety, Sarasota's real estate market is a really exciting one to explore. Plus, with so many waterfront properties, you can find a home with breathtaking views of the bay or the Gulf of Mexico, or you can find a really nice large lake view, a preserve, a golf course view. There's really so many options to choose from here in Sarasota. Now, the weather in Sarasota is both a blessing and a challenge. While the warm climate is a huge draw for so many people, the summer months can be unbelievably hot and humid. From June through September, temperatures can reach the mid-90s, and the humidity makes it feel even worse, making outdoor activities during the day uncomfortable for some. Now, in addition to that heat, Sarasota can also experience basically uncontrollable thunderstorms at any point during the summer, which can bring heavy rain, strong winds, and occasionally lightning. Although these rainstorms really don't typically last very long, they can disrupt your day. You know, if you're sitting out by the pool or the beach, your day can be kind of cut short by the rainstorms, and in some other major instances, there can be flooding to these lower lying areas of Sarasota. Now, if you're not a fan of the extreme heat and unpredictable weather patterns, summer in Sarasota might be tough to handle. Many of us locals just have to adjust by planning activities in the early morning or late evenings and ensuring that our homes have strong AC systems to stay comfortable. Now, hurricane season, on the other hand, is another consideration. Now, hurricane season runs from June through November, and the risk of tropical storms and hurricanes is something every newcomer has to prepare for. While Sarasota has historically avoided direct hits from major hurricanes, I mean, that is until last year, the potential for severe weather is always there. All right, now if you're a family watching this video, then listen up because this next section is for you. For families, Sarasota School District is a huge advantage. We have some of the most top-rated public schools and private schools in the entire state. Pine View School, one of the highest-ranked public schools in Florida, attracts gifted students all across the country. Sarasota is currently ranked second in the state for the best school district, with many options for A+ rated schools, K through 12. Now, Sarasota is also home to institutions like New College of Florida and the Ringling College of Art and Design, which brings kind of a youthful playful and creative energy to the area. Now, if education is a top priority for you and your family, then moving to Sarasota is a great option. Now, Florida's warm climate means that there are an abundance of bugs. Mosquitoes, no-see-ums, and palmetto bugs are all common here. While most people get used to them, newcomers can kind of find this situation frustrating. Now, to combat that, I recommend a constant pest control system, screened-in patios, and bug spray in the summer months, which is essential for daily life here in Sarasota. Whether you love going to the beach or golfing or exploring nature, we've got endless activities here. The beaches, including Siesta Key Beach and Lido Beach, are among the best in the world. So shelling, swimming, or just lounging under the sun is a daily activity option 365 days out of the year. Outdoor lovers can kayak through the mangrove tunnels, go bird watching, or hike through the Myakka River State Park. There's never a dull moment here in Sarasota. But for those of you like me who can't handle being out in the sun for longer than maybe an hour or two, Sarasota also has a ton of options either indoors or shaded. Things like theaters, museums, and festivals. Now, Sarasota is growing fast, and while that brings new opportunities, it also means more construction, higher housing costs, and a change in the cityscape. The skyline in Sarasota is quickly evolving with luxury condos, high-rise apartments, and mixed-use building popping up almost every other day, I feel like. In neighborhoods that once felt, quaint and quiet, you'll now find construction, cranes, noise, and ongoing development projects that can really disrupt that peaceful atmosphere that was once known and enjoyed by the residents. This rapid growth is also contributing to increased housing prices, making it more difficult for locals, especially younger residents and working families. Thankfully, now we're starting to see a correction in the market, starting with rents coming down a little bit and homes sitting on the market for longer. I think Sarasota strikes a perfect balance between being a lively city and a comfortable, easy to navigate community. It's big enough to have great amenities like excellent healthcare, diverse dining options, arts and culture venues, and high quality schools, but it's still small enough to avoid the overwhelming hustle and bustle of the major metro areas like Miami or Orlando. This mid-sized scale also contributes to a more relaxed pace of life. You're less likely to face the long commutes and those intense crowds that you see in the bigger cities. Whether you're heading to the beach or the grocery store or your favorite local cafe, everything tends to be just a short drive away here. The community vibe in Sarasota is also another advantage. There's a sense of familiarity here. You're likely to run into neighbors or friendly faces, which can be comforting and help build a stronger sense of belonging here. It's a place where you can enjoy those urban amenities without sacrificing that small town feel. That balance is a huge reason why so many people fall in love with living here. Now, public transit in Sarasota is limited. The bus system isn't extensive, and waiting means standing out in the sun with no shade for probably around 10 to 20 minutes. Most areas of Sarasota besides downtown also aren't very walkable either. Because of this, most residents rely on cars to get around. If you're used to cities with great public transportation and high walkability scores, Sarasota might take some getting used to. Now, Sarasota is a paradise for nature lovers, like I mentioned earlier. With our park, preserves, and pristine beaches, you can always find something to do here, a quiet place to relax or go on an adventure. Whether it's paddleboarding in the bay or hiking through the Myakka River State Park, fishing in a quiet lake, or taking the boat out to the sandbar, Sarasota keeps you connected to the great outdoors. All right, guys, that is my pros and cons list for Sarasota as of 2025. If you've made it this far into this video, you might be interested in watching these videos right here. Check them out.